I just want to let you guys know that are starting brands that it's not going to be easy. Like, just being honest, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be you day in and day out trying to figure it out. But ultimately, if you getting 1% better each and every day, you're getting towards your goals.
Go inside your closet, look at all the apparel designs that you have in there, all the graphic tees and whatnot, and see why'd you purchase it in the first place. There had to have been something that evoked you to purchase that design. And try to create it, because whenever you create it, you're practicing and you become a better designer. And let's say you create 3 different t-shirt designs, just replicate it. All of a sudden you took those 3 replications and then you merged it into one new design, and then you pretty much create something that over time pretty much becomes original, and then you find your style in that. Who are you serving? Who are you selling to? Who are your customers? If you don't know who you're selling to, then what are you making these things for? You really need to know your audience and who you are serving, because if you don't, when it comes to creating your actual product, your t-shirt, your apparel, whatever it is, you're practically only creating it for yourself, because you're doing what you think is best for yourself. So once you know who your audience is, you know how to do some research, you know exactly where to go to get ideas and to brainstorm and how to market and things like that. So make sure you know about your audience.
You know, the biggest piece of advice I give to any brand, but any brand that's trying to sell to retailers, is kind of something that I think is important for me to share, especially to your audience, because I think it's a really different way of looking at things. When most people design products and design brands, they oftentimes design it for themselves. They so if you ask them, why is it called this? Oh, that's the month of my birthday. This. Okay, why is your pop color orange? Oh man, you know, when I was growing up, I was always a fan of Syracuse. Okay, cool. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do stuff that personally matters to you, but at the end of the day, that's a hobby, right? At the end of the day, you are trying to make a deal with somebody. You are trying to build a relationship with somebody, saying, I have a shirt here and I want money for it. So we're going to exchange that, but they got to feel on their side that they're getting something of value. So what I thought of early on, this was just kind of tunnel vision with this, which was, I'm sure you have been in a lot of boutiques and you walk in, and on a lot of those, there's tables of products like folded t-shirts, stuff like that. Still, you know, 10 years ago, it was that way. You'll still see that in tons of retailers today. So my mindset was, at the time, the biggest brands were obviously Nike and Adidas, but also Billionaire Boys Club, also the Hundreds, also Crooks and Castles. These brands were very big. So my mentality was very straightforward. When you walk into that retailer, there's a kid there, and that kid I knew had never heard of Popular Demand. This is 10 years ago. I knew that. It hadn't been out yet. So I knew that kid I pictured that kid had $30 in his pocket. He worked all week. He was taking his girl out that night, going to the club. He was going to a birthday. I don't know what he was doing, but that kid needed one good shirt. He needed a shirt for the night. So what most people will do is think, I'm going to make something cool and somebody's going to buy my stuff. All right, cool. But what I was thinking was, okay, they walk up and there's a table and they see the Hundreds. Oh, they know the Hundreds. They've worn the Hundreds a few times. They see Diamond Supply Company. Oh, their skater friends have always wearing that. That's a cool brand. They see Crooks and Castles. Oh, yeah, I love Crooks. I got Crooks. Nike. They got Nikes on their feet. All these brands they're familiar with. And then they saw Popular Demand. And so that was my play. What the play was, I need them not to only buy Popular Demand. I have to somehow convince them, yeah, okay, the Hundreds. Oh, what is this? I've never seen this before. And I had to convince them that they had $30. They had to pass on all that stuff they loved or connected with and take a chance on us. So the products were developed to be loud, to be unignorable, because I knew most of the people, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 of those people wouldn't make that decision to buy Popular Demand. They would have bought the Hundreds. But a couple of them would, because they're like, yo, I've never seen this brand before, but it's wild. I'm gonna try this out.
So how are you so disciplined?
Really, man, honestly, it came down to like when I had a kid at 18. Okay. Everything just kind of turned around for me. Like I got kicked out of my mom's house, so I was literally homeless. I was staying with my daughter's mom, her mom, you know, sleeping on the floor. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, you know, people will see certain things on social media, but they never know what's actually going on. And you know, I was sleeping on couch cushions. My daughter's mom, when she was pregnant, she was sleeping on a twin size bed, and we were both on the floor in the living room. And I was just like, man, one day I swear to God, I'm gonna get out of this. Like I promise I'm gonna make everything right. And you know, where I come from, you know, not a lot of people become successful or even make it past 18, 21. So for me, I'm like, I just gotta do it strategically. And that's when I started understanding, like, if I don't discipline myself now, when I turn 30 or 40, I'm not gonna wanna be disciplined. I'm not gonna know how to go be disciplined. So I might as well start early and then just compound it over time so I get even better. So now, you know, I've been doing this 3-4 years now, and people are like, yo, you're so disciplined. I'm like, yo, I've just been sticking to the strategy. Like, you know, I wrote my script out and I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do, and I stuck to it. So now you just, a couple years later, you stick to your script, you know, you can change your life.
Make sure you go back and look at your actual data itself. Let's say you have a t-shirt design and it's selling very well. You know what I would do? I would offer that same t-shirt design on a mug. I would offer that same t-shirt design on a blanket.
This is a huge lesson that I learned is like me and you, we're making shirts all the time. If we make a little mistake, we're going to be like, damn, that looks bad. Like I shouldn't sell that, like whatever. 9 times out of 10, the end customer has no idea. Like they will never, ever, ever notice that issue or that mistake that you made or whatever. Like obviously if it's a big thing, like a huge misprint, whatever, but like you got to realize that people aren't doing this every day. Like you're going to be like, hey, this next level is so much nicer than this Gildan shirt. But this person on the other end, like if you're making a brand, yes, use the nicer stuff. You want people to wear your shirt every day, whatever. But if you're selling on Etsy or something like that, save yourself some money. Like people, not only do people kind of expect the Gildan shirts on Etsy, but like a lot of times they don't even know the difference really. Like obviously you can feel the difference in some shirts, but like you're way more critical of yourself for no reason. I've come to notice like done is better than perfect is like my biggest motto, because it's like 9 times out of 10, whatever I'm stressing over, these people are not even going to notice.
Everybody is just so caught up now with just like the quick gratification of like making money overnight, and like success isn't overnight. Success is like a long ass grind. And success is also about taking a lot of L's and learning, you know. I'm 40 this year. I've only been in business for myself for the last decade, you know. But I've been in this business since I was like 22 years old. So you're talking about me sitting behind somebody for 8 years as a sales rep or a sales manager, or working for somebody for 8 full years when I could have been on my own and started my own business, but I didn't want to, because at the same time, I just wanted to learn and I wasn't ready yet, you know? So I sat there, I watched what they did in production, I watched what they did for sales, and I watched what they did right. And the biggest thing is I watched what everybody did wrong. That's the biggest thing. I watched all the L's, and I watched what people did that generated a lot of losses. And I told myself the same shit. I was like, you know, when it's time for me to own my own business, I'm not going to do X, Y, Z because they did that. Because now I know, oh, okay, well, this is the reason why they left a bunch of money on the table. This is the reason why this isn't successful. I seen this already, but this wasn't on my dollar. You know, I was working under somebody else's dollar. At the same time, you know, you got a security working for somebody, and not everybody is meant to not everybody is meant to be a boss. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur, and it's okay. You know, like some people always say this bullshit like, oh, you know, don't ride somebody else's wave. Man, somebody else's wave is going to be a lot bigger than what you could fucking generate, you know? And like I said too, I did it for a while, you know? But at the end of the day, some people just don't have the thick skin of being able to be out there on their own, you know, making sure that, you know, rent's due, production's paid, employees are paid, taxes are paid. It's a wild, wild west out here to be a business owner.
A lot of us already know all of the material, but we beat ourselves up every single day because we're not where we want to be just yet. Now I want to read this quote, and I don't know who wrote it. I even did a Google search because I wanted to give them credit, but I found it come from multiple sources. So this is something I wish I knew before I got into entrepreneurship. Someone graduated at the age of 22, but waited 5 years before securing a good job. Someone became a CEO at 25 and died at 50, while another person became a CEO at 50. and live to 90 years old. Someone is still single, while someone from his school group has become a grandfather. Obama retired at 55. Trump started at 70. Everyone in this world works based on their time zone. People around you might seem ahead of you, and some might seem to be behind you. But everyone is running their own race in their own time. Do not envy them. They are in their time zone, and you are in yours. So relax. You're not late. You're not early. You're very much on time. You know, that person might have things, and you just don't know what some people have gone through. And sometimes it's true. It may be easier for them. And for some, it may be even harder. But for the most, it's just their time. They did things in certain ways that made things occur at the correct time for them. That doesn't mean that you're not going to accomplish things as well. And you shouldn't beat yourself up so hard about it. Sometimes you really got to be proud of what you already accomplished. And you really got to understand that you're on your way.